for another year?
It is? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too. I like being around for another year, yeah.
And Todd, good morning to you, and
Mike,
Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to everybody out there.
Good. Well, anyways, I wanted to announce something real quick. We get a lot of times, let's see if we can get one of these things to scroll down here. We get so many people ask questions during or throughout the webinars and have some comments, but more importantly, they want information that we present, whether it's information about one of our vendors and so forth. So we created a brand new email address specifically for that. It's called webinar@westusa.com. So if for some reason we can't get to your question during the webinar, or you have questions or want some information about someone that we've had on the webinar, just go ahead and email us at webinar@westusa.com. So we got that, Todd. Let's get going on a little bit of market analysis. I know that we've all missed that over the past couple weeks. We're heading into 2014 is here.
It is.
And let's just take us through 2013 and what to expect for 2014.
Well, 2013 closed out at about 85,000 total homes sold in MLS, and that was down about 4.7% over 2012. But as you've heard across the industry, Mike, you've heard him say that the market's been a little off, and so it was. It was about 5% off. However, the numbers were good. We had increased numbers. You can see right at the bottom of the slide here. We'll talk more about that as the next slide pops up. But we're sitting at almost 24,000 active properties in the inventory. Again, that's still light by about 14,000 to 20,000 homes. Our inventory here at West USA is still keeping up there at 953 active inventory listings. So if you need a home to sit open or you're looking for a property, I always recommend, it's nice to go into the MLS, Mike, and just search for homes. But, check out, one of your fellow West USA's agents' listings. And, maybe we can double end that deal for you. 21,000 non-distressed properties out there. The story continues to be told. The market's back. However, one of the things that we just learned was that the short sale inventory, although the short sales are pretty much going away, they're less than 3% of the overall market right now. Here's what's happening. Short sales are going away, but lender-owned homes are coming back. They've got to come back. They've got to come back because the lenders aren't doing short sales anymore, Mike. So that just makes sense.
Yeah, my understanding too is there's a group of properties that the lenders have kind of been holding on to, haven't quite released, haven't done much with, and we're starting to see those come back on the market.
Well, I don't want everybody to run around thinking we're talking about shadow inventory again, because there really is no shadow inventory. That's long gone. But obviously, there are properties that lenders have been holding on to. That is normal. You're going to start seeing some more bulk purchases. That will happen, but nothing like we've seen before. This is just going to be to take care of just the remainder of the inventory. And actually, you're going to start seeing some investors come back into the market, so be ready. The investment market is a good thing, the fix and flip, and it's still coming back because think about it, even though we had short sales offered at a very reduced rate. The lender-owned properties are still a good buy, Mike, 30% off, and it still gives you an opportunity to make some changes and flip it for a profit. Closed property, there's nothing this month to talk about. It's early. It's only the 6th of January, so, we're only sitting at 842. But let's take a look at 2013 because I think there's some history there that we need to take a quick look at. And if you look at the bottom of the slide, you'll see that we had 5,887 homes close in December, 20,000 in 2012. That was about 13% higher. Our average list price is at $389,000. Our average sale price is at $247,000. And again, remember the difference between average price and median price is median's just the middle. If you got 11 numbers, then number 6 is the median. But if you take the average, which is you add them all together and divide by the total number, that gives you your average number. So that's pretty much what sits there. Sale price to list price retention was still about 95% right now. That's down 2%. It is stereotypical that it's down or cyclical that it's down during the holiday season because it takes more of a negotiation from the buyer's perspective to make the seller want to move. So it just kind of reversed. Let me reverse that just a little bit there. Average days on market's running about 71 days, again up about 20 days overall, but again that's because of the holidays, and we're running at 3.7 months supply. So we're still in a seller's market. And just for everybody to remember, seller's market means what? Seller's market means that we have less than 4 months supply of inventory. A buyer's market is when we have what? More than 6 months supply of inventory. So when we're between a 4 to 6 month supply, we're in a balanced market, which just means a good negotiator wins. But when you're in a seller's market, typically in this particular case, when there's low inventory, then obviously the prices usually go up. So Mike, you want to hit that next slide for us? All these reports that I'm showing you, as always, are available on your dashboard at mywestusa.com. Click on the Downloads tab, follow down on the bottom. Below where the A106 forms are, way at the bottom, you're going to find the slide that says Market Stats. Click on that, and you'll find these reports there. These two reports will be on shortly after the webinar this morning. But let me just say, talk about a couple of numbers here. So I'm going to actually ask you to refer to this. So go there and go to the Downloads tab and download this for yourself. But basically what this is saying is that last year we were about overall 5% off as an MLS totally. Our inventory's still been averaging about 25 to 27,000 homes. We need to have about 40,000 homes in the market. Mike, you asked about what the investors are doing in some of these banks. The investors are still supposedly going to hold on to their inventory still through 2016. So next year we're not going to have any mass influx of properties that are owned by pension funds or any of these types of things. So it's still going to be a market where you're going to have to get out there and knock on some doors and say hello to some people to get them to see if they're interested in selling their home. But one statistic that I thought was absolutely just something that I was caught off guard when I saw this, Mike. 87% of the homes that are out there right now, single-family homes, have 20% equity.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm scratching my head right here, folks. It's been a long time since I've heard something like that.
When I heard
80% of the homes out there,
yes,
including listed and non-listed, just homes across the board.
Yes, just homes. It has nothing to do with listings.
Have at
just
least
homes.
20,000?
No, 20%.
20% equity.
Yeah, 20% equity.
This is a great little tool to have in
You
our
know what?
arsenal when we go out and start soliciting, because we talked about this as a seller's market.
That's right.
And when you start educating sellers out there that, hey, you might have some equity, there's a lot of people out there right now who are still under the assumption they haven't checked, they haven't talked to an agent, they have no idea. They're sitting on equity right now and have no idea because they've just put their head in the sand because the news has been so dire over the past 4 or 5 years.
And even though that it's gotten better, a lot of times when the market turns here at the bottom of the pendulum, when it swings, there's a lot of people that are lagging. They're not really convinced yet that the market's good because maybe they didn't get their bonus this year. Maybe they, maybe as far as they're concerned, they don't see the growth in the economy. Maybe they don't see the fact that there's money being put into small businesses yet. So the confidence is still a little low. But overall, the market is heated up. The housing industry here in Phoenix has totally recovered, and it's a great market. If you have someone who's interested in product and it's not out there, Mike, what do you think they should do? I'm catching you off guard here. Sorry about that.
Okay, what was the question again? I'm still going back to the fact that I might have equity in my home.
Somebody sees a particular property, and this is the reason why I'm bringing this up. Somebody sees a home, and they go out to it, and it's already sold. But they love the neighborhood. They want a home in that neighborhood. What's an agent to do? They go to the MLS, and it's just not there. What would they do?
Well, they would. A normal agent would try to talk that buyer into a different neighborhood where there's homes available.
Okay, that's one thought.
That's what what a normal agent would do.
Obviously, you show them the other the other properties that are in the MLS, and if nothing else meets their need because they're so set on that neighborhood, why don't you start knocking on some doors and just say, because people have equity. Or send an email to that, or a farm letter to that neighborhood. And we have agents here at West USA who have come up to me. Jason Yakub down in the Ahwatukee office as one, who's also one of our mentors, by the way. And that's another topic for after we go into a couple other segments. But he was telling me that he's actually seen an agent down in the Ahwatukee office who has knocked on some doors because the product wasn't available, found somebody who was interested in selling, and sold the house.
Yeah, and it just goes back to, as agents, this is we talked about being a seller's market. There's a lot of people sitting on equity that don't realize that they're sitting on equity, and that's our in. We're those agents that go out there and educate homeowners
Yeah.
that they're sitting on some equity, and this might be the time.
1997 all over again. Start doing some free market analysis.
Okay. All right, Todd. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Couple of announcements. Wanted to just let, especially those of you that are new to West USA and or have never been to one of our orientations. Our next new agent orientation is next Wednesday, January 15th, at the West USA corporate office up here in North Phoenix. The orientation is between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. And if you're interested in more information, go ahead and contact your office staff at your local office, and they'll get you that information. Also, our calendar, our class and our education calendar is filling up with incredible, some continuing education classes, some non-continuing education classes, but there's a lot of classes available. So we want to encourage you to go to mywestusa.com, click on the calendar tab to check out all the different classes that we have available. I know Marge Lindsay, she just dropped off a flyer this morning about a class for leasing. It's an incredible class and so those of you that are doing rentals and leasing properties and so forth, this is a phenomenal class. So,
well, you know, Mike, they just changed as of February 1st. They're going to be changing the AAR leasing contract. So this is just a timely opportunity for our agents to get a jump on the rest of the marketplace.
Yeah, and so for instance, that class is on January 31st at 9 a.m. And you can get all the information about all the classes, and I know that's one of the things that we are committed to here at West USA is just providing the best in education, opportunities for you as agents. So, so go to mywestusa.com and click on the calendar tab. All right, let's get with the first Mike's three-pack for 2014. This goes in lines, Bob, with New Year's resolutions. I've never been a huge New Year's resolution fan because I like to set myself up for success rather than failure. So saying, hey, I'm going to lose 30 pounds this year, you know, not setting myself up for success. But however, though, in my business has always kind of been a different thing. Is really kind of always, you know, we should always be evaluating the past year, what we can do to improve. As a matter of fact, my New Year's resolution, Bob, has always been not to make a New Year's resolution, and so I've always been successful for the past 4 or 5 years. But here's a couple New Year's resolution ideas for real estate agents. I'm a big believer in education. The more knowledgeable you are, the better of an agent you are. So I would commit to all of our real estate agents to at least find one industry-related article a day to read. And if you think about that, you know, the average article, first of all, articles are everywhere online. And if you went online, found an article, spent 5 minutes a day just reading something, I mean, think about it. By the end of the year, that would be at least 365 articles and pieces of information that you have digested. And as the more you read, the more informed you are, the better you can inform your buyers and sellers, and the more educated you come off.
Absolutely. You know, what's the difference between you and another agent? It's not your rate, and it's not necessarily just a list of services that you provide, because we all provide real estate activity. What the difference is where your mindset is and where you're coming from and what do you know about what's going on in the marketplace. Hey, Mike, here's a great idea. Go to Google Alerts. Yep. And in the alert section, put in there real estate Arizona or real estate Southwest, however you want to put it in there. And what it'll do is it will automatically send you articles from anywhere across the globe on real estate in Arizona.
Yeah, and you know, and it's a lot easier saying, hey, I'm going to do one a day than say, hey, you know what, in 2014 I want to read 400. Just one a day. It's
Absolutely.
Real simple, takes a couple minutes. Second, and I'm not saying at all that contacting one prospect a day is enough to be successful in real estate, but there's a lot of people, and I find it amazing with real estate agents that they can go a week, 2 weeks, Bob, 3 weeks, and have never picked up the phone, never sent an email to somebody that might be in the market to buy or sell. This definitely can include some that you sold a house to 2 years ago. This is the time to take inventory of all the different real estate transactions that maybe you've put together in the last 5 or 10 years, and at least, and I'm not saying I don't even think one's enough, but at least one a day, find somebody to reach out to, whether you're providing them with information, seeing how they're doing, offering them a free market analysis. Todd, you talked about this is, you know, 80% of houses are sitting on 20% of equity.
Can't believe it.
My phone I'd be busy on my phone right now.
Well, and not only that, it's easy. A lot of reasons people don't call is because they haven't called them in the past. They should have. They know they should have stayed in contact with people, but they didn't. So now they have this feeling that, oh, I can't call them now. They won't remember who I am, or they probably have somebody else, or all these limited beliefs and all these excuses. Here's the thing. Pick up the phone, said, I made a New Year's resolution, and my resolution this year was to make sure that I reached out to all the people that I've done such a horrible job of communicating with last year, over the last couple of years. So I wanted to reach out to you, Mike, and I just want to say, listen, could I have your permission to stay a little bit in a little bit better contact with you over the next year than I have in the past year? Love to hear more about what's going on with you and your family.
And I'd also be sending out emails or calling them and leaving messages and saying, hey, I just read an article, 80% of homes are sitting on 20% of equity.
Cha-ching.
Need help to find out whether you have one of those homes. Who wouldn't want to know? All right, and then the third thing, commitment or resolution for the year is to take a look at your marketing campaigns. And I would commit to improve or adding at least 3 marketing strategies, whether it's adding a website. We're going to talk about that in a little bit this morning. Seriously improving your website, whether it's improving your blogs, being more frequent with your blogs, or even starting blogs, whether it's going to home shows. There's a million different marketing strategies out there. I would just take a look at what you're doing and seeing what you could either majorly improve upon or add to your marketing strategy. So that's Mike's 3-pack this morning. 3 tips on,
Mike, what are those 3 blue things?
Anyways, I have no idea. So I want to also give everybody an update on the WUSA Cares. As you know, WUSA Cares is really an extension of West USA for us to go out there and care about our community, find out what our agents are doing. And so in the month of December, we had committed to helping out the Salvation Army. As a matter of fact, I was out. I spent 8 hours out in front of the Walmart in Avondale ringing the bell. And when people walked by and didn't make eye contact with me, that bell got a little bit louder. I let them know that I recognized it. I cannot be ignored. But but through all that, with all the participation of West USA agents, we're proud to announce that we raised just under $10,000. This is just West USA. Wednesdays in December is Real Estate Wednesday, so real estate companies throughout Arizona participate in this. And so West USA, we raised $9,946.81. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Actually, Mike, West USA Cares is about that. It's about what West USA does from a corporate perspective as well. However, it's also about what each and every one of our agents are doing out there in the marketplace. If you're there and you have a charity, let's imagine you're out in Chandler and you like March of Dimes, or you like the Susan G. Komen breast cancer run, or the 3-day walk. And you would like to start a team, or you would be interested in sharing this, 2 people might do better than 1 person on the cause. You can go to our new dashboard, Mike, and you can put in there under the community, you can put under community charities and community service, you can put out exactly what's coming up and what you like to do, and reach out to other people, other agents. It goes to every single agent in our company, and I just would implore everybody to participate. So take a look at your dashboard.
Okay, next, very, very pleased to welcome to our webinar. It's the first time we've been on the webinar together, but it is our president, our founder, our CEO, the godfather of West USA, if you will. We have Clay Fouts here this morning to just kind of talk about 2013, a little bit of his vision for 2014. Good morning, Clay, and welcome.
Well, good morning, Mike. I've been trying to let them let me get on here for ages, and they've been afraid to do so.
But, well, and I've heard that the reason why is that the webinar is limited to only an hour.
Yeah.
And there's a bet around the office here of whether I can keep you to your allotted time or not.
That's always a problem. It's good to have a hook available when I'm talking. I do want to wish everybody a Happy New Year and plan a great New Year. You're the only one that can make it a great year. It's back to the old story. I always told you guys that, if you want to see who's responsible for your business, go look in the mirror. We're here to help you, but you're there to make it happen. And another point, I want to congratulate you. You're the survivors. anybody listening to this has survived the worst real estate market we've ever had. You know, I've been in this business over 30 years, and I've never seen anything as rotten as this last few years have been. And if you guys are still here, you're the survivors. So the survivors are the ones that haven't made here in the future. The market, too, you look at the market, and it's hard to find a house for under $100,000 anymore. Well, that could be a real advantage. When you figure you get a minimum of 3%, that means if you can tap a house, you made $3,000. So if you can do one of those a week, you're making some money.
You know, people have to realize too, Clay, that $15 an hour or $10 an hour, pardon me, in a normal 4.3 week month is only about $1,800 a month in income, and that's a job.
It's true.
So the $3,000 is almost twice that.
Yeah, there are a lot of people working jobs right now for less than $3,000 a month, and they'd love to have the $3,000. In fact, they're talking about, as you know, raising the minimum wage. And
that might help me with my job here at West USA, right? I'm pushing for an increase in the minimum wage.
Hey, we haven't even got you up to minimum wage yet, Mike. I don't know. If it gets higher, you're in trouble. But no, I believe we've got a good year ahead of us, and we're very positive about it. I guess that's a word for you to remember. Be positive. You know, people who think negative get negative. If you can't wake up, be happy to see a new day, you're in trouble. You know, you got to change your way of thinking. And speaking of positive, I don't know how many of you have heard, but due to popular demand, we've opened an office out in Surprise, Arizona. And we're having the grand opening the 15th in the evening. There'll be a barbecue. There'll be things going on out there. Come out for a few drinks and a barbecue and stuff like that. It's a great office. We've been recruiting quite a few people there, but we can still use help. Remember, everybody who works for West USA is a recruiter. Bring your friends over. Hell, if they're not a friend, bring them anyway. We'll even take your non-friends. But, you know, don't forget, if you recruit someone, you get $25 off every closing they do. So the more productive the agent you can recruit, the more money you're going to make for not doing anything else. And that extra money is always handy. You know, it comes in good. So
now, let me put you on the spot here, because you don't know this is coming. So I'm thinking, okay, you've been in the industry for a while.
Yes.
So you've seen the markets come and go. You could probably write novels and novels and novels of what you've seen in the real estate over the years. And I know with your position here, you're not out there actively selling real estate as most agents are. But if you were to, looking at, you know, the last couple of years, 2013, taking a look at what Todd had talked about for 2014, what would be maybe the 3 things that you would do that would set yourself up for success for 2014?
Well, I'd have to do the same thing I always did when I was selling. I'd stay in contact with all my old customers. I'd call each of them back. I'd go after them, let them know it's time to do something. That's the major thing to do. And, of course, continually look for new clients. And, you know, the thing I used to do is every place I went, I gave away business cards. If I went to a grocery store, I gave a card to the grocery store clerk. I still do that.
And your wife was okay with that?
Yeah, it didn't bother her. Only one said, could you come to my house and let's talk? So, and she was kind of cute. But, no.
Is that plastic or paper, sir?
Yeah, my wife was a good pusher, though. She helped me know real estate all she could. But, you know, contact is a big trick. Talking to Michelle Summers last week, she got a call from actually it wasn't an old client. It was somebody else's old client that had sold one of her listings a couple of years back. And Michelle stayed in touch with that buyer on her property. Because remember, once that house closes, they're not the client of the realtor anymore. They're open game. And Michelle,
interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, Michelle sends cards out to the buyers of her property, thanking them for buying the property. And these people, not just that, she sent them a card now and then. How are things going? Happy holidays, blah, blah, blah. These people wanted to sell. They called her back, says, hey, Michelle, we want to list our house. And, the guy that helped us last time didn't do a very good job for us. We feel that you will. You took good care of us.
Now, where?
And she listed,
Wow.
and they listed their house with her. So this is another way of expanding your market. Go after the people who buy your listing. Most agents don't contact their buyers back. It just doesn't happen. And I saw a new one the other day out at the Surprise office. I was out there, had a new agent that just joined us, and he was sitting back in the kitchen having a cup of coffee with the loan officer. And I walked in and talked to him a little bit. How are things going? He said, man, they're going great since I've been at West USA. I said, what are you doing? He said, well, I signed up for that rental program to get rental leads. He said, I've already, one of them I took out. I flipped him from a rental to a purchase, sold him a $450,000 house. And I've got another one right now that we're shopping houses.
Yeah, you can't assume just because they're renting they can't buy.
They think they can many times. They've had a foreclosure, they've had something happen, and you have to interview each one to see what has happened and what you can do.
And that's a good point, because even the criteria and the guidelines for what somebody could qualify for 2 years ago when they had that problem and today have changed. That's a great point.
I just don't know. I mean, and I'm sure Bob's seen this. How many agents are out there? Oh, I don't want to take this rental lead because they're renters. I'm only going to make a couple. We never even
most of them.
We don't even think about, hey, that person themselves may have never thought about being a buyer.
True. Well, he showed them what it would cost to pay for deposits and the front end money to get into a rental. He said, for that, I can sell you a house. I can get you into one. And it was an easy flip.
Yeah. Why rent when you can buy?
Yeah. So remember that. Renters are good prospects. I used to work renters when I was in real estate. I loved a renter because I would flip them most of the times into a house. If I didn't sell them one then, I'd put them on my list, rent them a house, and put them on a follow-up list so I could sell them one later.
Yep.
So I doggedly chased those people. If they were living and they would talk to me, they're in trouble because they're going to buy a house sooner or later.
Well, let's talk a little bit about personal touch, because it sounds like the advantage that you had over us is you didn't have the the ability to email and text message people. You actually had to call people and actually talk to them.
True. I did. I still have to call them and talk to them because I don't text message.
That's true. There's a new report. There's a new report from NAR this morning that just came out. Many of you probably got it in your inbox this morning. Obviously, being realtors, as long as they have your correct email, and it was indicating exactly that, how technology has removed us from the contact game. And that everybody thinks it's bringing us closer, but in reality, it's moved us farther away.
Yeah, I think people like that personal touch. When you pick up the phone and call them, that's the personal touch. You text them, you email them, okay, you got the message, but do you really count to them? I guess that's what they wonder. I do. That's really kind of a cold way of doing business. It's a quick way of doing it, and probably once you get them under contract, start working with them, you can text back and forth to take care of things. But there's nothing like personal contact there.
My insurance guy, he still once a year comes to our house and has coffee in our kitchen with my wife and I.
Yeah.
Just old school.
Right.
Once a year, he schedules that time to have coffee with us.
He's waiting for you to have more kids.
The basics of business have not changed.
Just technology has.
Just technology.
True.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, technology makes it better, but you don't get lost in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have one other point. A few years back, some of your old agents have been here for a while, which we have a lot of those.
Oh, yeah.
About half our agents have been here since the beginning of time. And we had this gold find where we hid gold out in Gold Canyon and let our agents go out and sign up their customers. I forget exactly what they paid in, but they put the leads in to us, and we had a drawing at every office. So we gave them a chance to go back and talk to old customers. That was the whole reason for it, to show them that talk to the people that you haven't talked to. And they got back to them. We had a great turnout on it. We had a drawing at every office to get a winner for each office. Then at corporate, we put them in and had one final drawing. The final draw got to go out to Gold Canyon. We had $5,000 worth of gold hidden out there. And so we had a map. They had to chase it down. And we got Channel 3 to cover this thing. The ones that saw it will remember it. But it was exciting. It was interesting. And the thing was, I guess the point I'm getting at, one of the agents contacted one of his old customers and invited him to sign up. The client called him back and said, "Hey, thanks for calling me or sending me a letter, but I've got a new address. I've moved since I saw you last." So his client had gone out and bought a house, so he was a little late in getting back to him. Don't assume because you sell them a house, it's the last one they'll ever buy.
Right.
You better be on hand because there are a lot of real estate agents out there with their hand out waiting to meet your client. Yeah, another guy I talked to, but at one of our last conventions, bought some West USA T-shirts with the name on them. And I said, "Well, you haven't been doing that. How come you're doing it?" He said, "It costs me money not to." And I said, "How's that?" He said, "I have a coffee meeting every week with this group of people. We sit and talk and have coffee. One of them came in last week and said, 'Hey, congratulate me, I bought a house.' He says, 'Huh? Why didn't you buy from me?' He said, 'I didn't know you were in real estate.'"
Right. Well, I want to go back to that whole gold find thing. I'm thinking of the a West USA reality show
Yeah.
involving $5,000-$10,000 worth of gold. A lot of our clients and weapons. That's a great reality show. I think we could really
really do it, huh? That was a real winner because
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
I went out there. God, I had to be there at 6 in the morning. That was
Yeah.
a killer for me. That's clear across town.
Yeah, I know that.
we were there when the sun came up, and Channel 3 was there, and they were filming. We were in Goldtown, is where it was at.
Oh, that's
And
great.
It was a neat place. But we spent the whole morning following these little points on the map till we finally got to the gold. And the people finally did find it. It was bound to happen. But I walked into a couple of restaurants afterwards, and both the girls asked me, said, "Hey, how was Gold Deal? Did they ever find the gold?"
That's
They were
good.
really excited about it. They watched it as long as they could, then they had to go to work. And Channel 3 said that was the best program they have ever had.
It's a phenomenal
It
idea.
really is.
It was exciting to them, to their customers, to everybody. And it was great. We got to do it again someday. I think it would be good just to do it over. Those things are fun.
Yeah.
It is, and that brings me. It just brings it to a good point with our education programs that are coming up, and not to share something that we're going to be talking about in a couple minutes, but just to say that there are approximately 13 different lead generation techniques. One of them is promotions and seminars, which is what Mr. Fouts was just talking about. And the point is that if you would like to learn more about different ways that you can involve your clientele, my recommendation is go to the mywestusa.com dashboard and check on training calendar and take a look at some of the upcoming training we got coming.
I think. Well, Clay, thank you very much for coming in this morning. We appreciate it, and you're always welcome.
Well, thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I feel that hook tightening around my neck. So I better give up before they choke me to death.
Well, I was thinking for our next game, for our next contest is we're going to see every week who can keep track of how many times that Todd connects anything we talk about with the dashboard. I think you're up to about 8 or 9 right now.
Well, actually, if you go to the dashboard and you look at just kidding.
Okay, so we're going to talk about, and Clay, feel free to stick around and comment on anything that you would like. We'd love to hear from you. But 5 things to look for in 2014, Todd. I came on here in the middle of 2013 and got adjusted and learned what West USA came from, where we are, and where we're going. And I can honestly say it's pretty exciting. But we thought for all of you who are listening, just to kind of let you know some of the things that we are, as a corporate office, focused on for 2014, what you can expect to see, and the 5 top things that we're going to bring in. Number 1 is the first one that we've already rolled out, though. but we are, as we were making jokes about it, Todd, is our focus on the agent dashboard. We have been talking with agents who have been coming from other companies, and this has been kind of one of those nuggets that we've been dangling out there, because from what we have seen, no other company is offering anything close to what we're able to offer. And why is it important, and why should we be on it?
You're absolutely right, and that is what we're hearing. Obviously we stay close with Linda Toraya, who's our Director of Career Services, and Linda continually tells us what some of the things are that as to why people are moving or interested in leaving. And then when the agents come in and they start telling us, wow, I wish we had that at our other office, and I'm saying, well, I'm glad you didn't. but at the same token, this dashboard was the whole thing here is, as Clay said earlier, is communication. You have to have good communication, and I think one of the things that for 2014 we want to do better in is communicate better with our agents. But we also want to give our agents an opportunity to communicate better between each other. So if you've got a pre-listing, got a listing that you are about to take or you just took, and it's going to be a couple of days before your sign gets put up, my recommendation is throw it up here on the agent dashboard under pre-listings, and you might get another agent in your office or from across town within our company to bring a buyer over and sell it before the sign even goes up. And and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no violation of fiduciary duties to your seller or anything. I mean, the point is, this is just another marketing resource that you have. And again, there's so many benefits to this particular program, Mike. This dashboard, it's just really this communication portal, and that's what other agents are saying when they come in.
Yeah, and I think also, I mean, we live in a time where social media is the norm, and I'm amazed that we can't get our agents to go to their dashboard as frequently or as often as we would like, but yet all of us were on Facebook 5, 8, 15 times a day and so forth. So we encourage you, and we want all of you to make it a daily habit, because this is our #1 way to communicate with you as far as events, what's coming up with West USA, and so forth. And it is in essence like a social networking site where you can communicate, we can communicate to you, you can post comments and so forth. But it's very important for all of us to at least once a day to log on and see what's going on.
Well, this is very difficult. There are two benefits to this. Number one is less emails in your email inbox, and number two is a place in which you can go when you need to have company information. I mean, this is a spot where the corporation itself will tell you what's going on with things that we have planned. You can even go down to the branch level, even to the agent level. So you can see things even filtered. If you look to the right on this particular slide, you see the filtering, how you can filter the company posts, and we can add. If there's something there that you want to have added as a filter, and you want to make that recommendation, send it to suggestion box at westusa.com. But the whole thing here is it's a change in the culture of our company, Mike. We've always been an agent-centric company. It's always been about the agent. However, as you grow, Clay and Bob, and even though Bob's at all the meetings, Clay can't make it to all the meetings all the time. Dale can't make it to all the meetings all the time. So, there becomes a separation, and then people start to feel individual and maybe even like a number. And the point is, this is not the company for that. This is the company that treats you like you're part of our family, because you are. And the company wants you to know that if it wasn't for our agents, the company wouldn't be here. I would not have a job. This company would not be here if it wasn't for you, our agent. So this whole thing here is designed, this whole dashboard is designed to give you additional services and let you know what's going on, the classes. I heard just this morning that somebody was saying that, that we need to improve some education, which we'll talk on in just a minute, which we do. However, I want people to understand there's education at this company right now and has been for the last 28 years, which is if you go to here and you click on training, you'll see the calendar. You'll see that there's a plethora of classes available right now for you to take that will help improve your business.
Great. Okay. And we got about 4 minutes to go through 4 more things. So we've talked about agent websites, Todd. What's our commitment, and what are we doing as far as agent websites?
Well, one of the things that the leadership team here at West USA has been doing is trying to position our agents so that they are the best in technology that's out there in the industry. That includes, you have all of the social media sites that you need, and everything plugs right into your contact resource manager, and it all begins with a website. The website is intended to be soft launched February 1st with a hard launch to everybody out there on March 1st. The agent websites are free to our agents. The free version, because there is a paid version, but the free version includes everything that you see pretty much here. This is not an example of the specific site, but this just goes to show that it will have an IDX provider. It will have the ability for you to use a link, an API, into whatever CRM program you're interested in using. And all these facets, it'll take video. We'll be doing videos here at the office for you to be able to add your first video. When we're done with this program, along with our 5-day tech training class, you will be positioned as the most sophisticated technology agent in the business.
And I would just add, because obviously my hands are in this, and I would just say this to all of you that are listening, that there's a lot of real estate companies out there that offer free websites to their agents. A lot of you have websites that you get pretty inexpensive from other companies, but a lot of us have heard the term SEO, search engine optimization, online marketing, and so forth. I can assure you from what I've seen, our websites that we offer for our agents will be the very best in giving our agents the opportunity to optimize their websites, dominate the internet. No other company is going to be offering what we're going to be offering. But along that line, we're also going to be working on our corporate website. I know one of the things, and this just shows you kind of, I think, the attitude here. We had to make a decision, corporate website or something for our agents, and we've just chosen, hey, our top focus is our agents, but we are also later on in the year going to be upgrading our corporate website.
Absolutely. One of the things that when I came on board here was to enhance and foster the vision that Clay originally founded years ago, which is being that agent-centric company. And, you can't be a company without living all those things. And, granted, the company has been such a technology leader for so many years, and then during the cycle when everybody was trying to survive, obviously everybody just held on to what they had. And, of course, during the last 5 years, the market has taken off in technology and totally changed. So we wanted to position and catch up and position our agents to be the very best and leaders as always. So agent sites came first, and the corporate website will follow about 30 to 45 days thereafter.
Okay, give us 45 seconds on our 5-day agent training.
Well,
this is new to everybody.
Yes, and this isn't just this actually, you probably want to hit a couple of topics at the same time, so it's probably this one and the mentor program together. But basically, from this particular perspective, what the company is launching beginning in January is going to, which is January, which is going to be.
Well, you had the flu last week, so you missed it. So a couple days elapsed without your knowledge.
If anybody had the flu, I totally understand. I feel for you. Or if you're going to have it, I feel for you. But the point of this is again, the 5-day agent training program is to focus primarily on technology. This is for every agent. This is for experienced agents. This is for entry-level agents. This is to position you to be a leader in the technology industry. We have the finest trainers coming in to be able to that have experience in each of the different areas that we're going to be teaching. And these people are going to position you to be able to utilize and use all this. So when you leave, this isn't going to be setting up a bunch of stuff that you're never going to use. This is going to be setting up technology that it's going to be fully integrated. It's going to be convenient, easy, simple to maintain and to utilize. But in the end, it's all designed to generate additional business and traffic for you. The mentor program picks up once the 5-day training program is over. We have mentors that have already been selected in each of the offices, with the exception of Surprise, because it's our newest office. These mentors are going to be able to assist you in everything from where is the copy machine all the way through how to take your business from being a $10 million producer to being a $20 million producer. These have been hand-selected people. There is a central process, a manual that we've created so that there's a common theme and a level of standard throughout the company as far as how we're going to be influencing each person's business and shortening that time frame from coming to the company to making money and putting money in your pocket.
Just real quickly, as we can see, we've got a lot of things. So we got more in store for West USA for 2014, but these are the 5 things that we're really focused on or four things as things roll out. I can't think of where would we go to find out and keep updated on what's coming out.
Well, I think we should go to mywestusa.com.
Okay. All right, Todd. Thank you very much. All right,
Mike. Thank you.
Bob, it's 2014. How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's? And I just out of curiosity, how late were you able to stay up on New Year's Eve?
People have asked me that same question for 79 years. Now I'm getting tired of it, actually. It's the same always. It's always great to celebrate another Christmas.
Okay, great. Well, but what'd you do for New Year's? How late did you stay up? I just got to know.
I don't do nothing.
You don't do anything?
Wait, is that a law? You got to do something?
Well, you're the most exciting face of West USA, so
Yeah.
we got high hopes.
9:30, I went to bed. That's exciting. No, I stay out of the way of all the amateurs on New Year's
Yeah,
Eve. That's
absolutely.
where it stands. So,
Well, you have several things for us this morning. I know one of the first things you wanted to talk about is a new HOA handbook. I got to be honest with you, I have no idea what it is, but because of all the run-ins I've had with HOAs, I was kind of excited about it.
well, that's why I'm here. You don't know about it because I'm the only one that knows about it. I got the first copy. It's right here. I sent you a picture of the front of it there, as you can see. But here's the book. Take a look at it. Leaf through it. It's beautiful. I think that, well, every homeowner ought to have one. At least the members of the board ought to have one of these books written by George Anderson. But, well, I know you're laughing because nobody on the board has any sense at all. They don't even know where they live sometimes. But this is one heck of a book. It gives you all of the guidelines you need, how the HOAs work. And if you want to talk to George about it, just call our Mesa office. He's an agent over there in the Mesa office. And anytime you go in there, you'll see him sitting there at a desk writing this book. He finally got it done. What do you think? Isn't that a beauty?
I think this is awesome.
Yeah, it's more than you can believe. I think it's $35 or something. But he gave that to me. And I appreciate it, George. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I actually kind of look forward to taking a look at it. I've thought of many times of sitting down and penning a book myself. I'm not going to lie, I never thought about writing about HOAs. But how timely is this? How many buyers do we come across that are just their biggest issue is, do I want to live in an HOA or non-HOA, and helping educate our buyers and giving them something to educate themselves on how to deal with HOAs, I think is great.
Our
Well,
own
he
Sue
does a lot
Fluke's
of
favorite
work on it.
topic. Our own Sue Fluke's favorite topic.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. We have here Bob and Mary Millard and their 7 sales. This is on the dashboard, by the way. Did you see that, Nick?
We did. Actually, time stopped here at the corporate office when we realized that you actually got on the dashboard. We were excited.
I know how to do that now. Yeah, yeah. But I'll read it real quick here. It's requested our note to Bob Stevens, December 2013. While visiting the Big Island of Hawaii one Christmas, we were sitting on a bench at the Hilo Airport waiting for the flight to Honolulu. While we were waiting, a man sat by us. In starting conversation, we asked where he was from. He told us he was from Chicago, flying to Honolulu to participate in the Ironman competition. Then we told him we lived in Mesa. This is Bob and Mary Millard over there in the Mesa office. He told us he has a sister and a mother in Mesa, so we told him next time he visits, come in, we'll have a cup of coffee. And we gave him our business card. Aha! That's what you were talking about, Clay, just a little bit earlier here. 8 months later, we received a call from a woman who said, you don't know me, but you met my brother in Hawaii. I want to sell my home. My fiancé wants to sell his home, and then we want to buy a home together because we are getting married. 3 sales, right there. And then later her brother came to Mesa to see us regarding selling their mother's home in Dreamland Villa, which we double dipped. So there's 2 more sales. About a year later, this couple decided to sell a home that we sold them, and they bought another one, and there's 2 more sales. 7 sales because they handed out a card on a bench in Honolulu. Isn't that something? Bob and Mary Millard, the Mesa office, are suggesting that you hand out your cards.
I actually thought the business cards were to enter the free lunch drawings at the restaurants.
Well, that's some of it, too. And a lot of them are to write notes on the back. And, of course, Bob and Mary have got a daughter in this Broadway play called Matilda. And she's been working on this job for 3 years, a granddaughter.
Wow.
There's a picture of her right here. What's her name? Shapiro. Millie Shapiro. And she's outgrown the role. So her 3-year gig is done. They're getting younger kids to do this Broadway musical. So 3 years on Broadway. And, of course, Bob and Mary go there and see her occasionally.
Wow.
On this deal she's got there. I would have liked to have seen that. That would be wonderful. As a matter of fact, Bernadette says we are going this year to Broadway to see something. So she's thinking of maybe Macy's Thanksgiving Parade or something. And then Broadway after that.
You do realize to be at Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, you've got to stay up all night, right? The night before?
Why is that?
Because there's about 300,000 people, 500,000 people that go downtown to see the parade. Otherwise, you can't see it.
You're trying to talk me out of it.
I really mean that.
No, just suggested bigger TV.
Well,
We'll
she wants to
just
do
do
that.
like a scene out of Weekend at Bernie's. We'll just prop you up.
Wow. Okay, what's up next?
Issues that I've received from agents.
Oh, man, I don't know. For instance, here's the first one right here. Guy calls me up and says, is it okay? I've got a listing over here, and the client called me and asked me to go over to his house and park their car into the garage, park it in the garage. Is that okay? Well, I said, I'm your broker. I'm not going to tell you it's okay that I gave you permission to do this. I don't know why you don't just go do it and get it over with, but you called me and asked me, and I'm going to tell you, no, you can't do that. If something goes wrong, then it's going to come right back to me, as I told them to do that, hit the side of the building or something like that. I don't know. It's just something I can't, as a broker here at West USA, say, yes, go ahead and do
So then
things.
as a broker, you're telling us it's better to ask for forgiveness than it is permission?
I didn't say that. I'm just telling you, you're not getting permission.
Yeah,
Here.
I think it falls under the definition of what's called real estate activity or non-real estate activity.
I don't. He should send his wife over there, but he's licensed. He's licensed, so everything he does,
Falls under you.
it falls right over here. I've got Adam Decker coming over to the meeting in Mesa on Friday. He's going to do some good stuff. He's got some questions to ask. Here it is. One of the questions was, can you let me know if this first right of refusal clause will work, or do you have a clause I could use? One of the agents sent that to me. Oh, so he's going to talk about a first right of refusal clause. Matter of fact, Dwayne Fouts told me his biggest lawsuit he ever had at one of the previous place he worked was over a first right of refusal. Well, what does that mean? If you write that in there, you get the first right to buy the house. Well, okay, supposing you have that, do you record that? Well, yeah, you'd have to record it so that everybody is advised that it exists. There's a lot of problems here, so I sent it back to him and said that he needs to go and get this, get a lawyer to take care of this issue if that's what they're going to do.
All right.
If they're going to insist on that, you don't get it from the broker. You need a lawyer on that. So I don't know what he followed up with on that, but But then I got another call this morning, already this morning. Somebody is sending me their first right of refusal. They want to use it. I said, oh, my goodness. So it'll be downstairs as I get through with this gig right here, and I'll take a look and see what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, I all I can remember was, in fact, I think it was you, Bob, who taught me once that there's been this language we've used for many years called first right of refusal, and it was determined, and I don't remember the year, that the proper language wasn't first right of refusal, it was the right to first purchase. The actual language, the first right of refusal, isn't the same. And so I just, if anybody's out there listening that has this question, my recommendation is contact our brokers here before you go and write that kind of language.
This was clarified for me many years ago in a 1998 article I read that I received from Bob's Beckford or something like that with Cracchiola law firm that I read many years ago, and I've always remembered that. Don't mess with it unless you know what you're doing. Okay. Let's see. We had another one where somebody, and I don't know if I talked about this before. I don't think so. How's our time?
We got about 4 minutes.
I've gotten a couple of questions here where they wanted to cancel a contract before it's cancelable. In other words, they just got into the contract, and what do you do if the buyer says to you, since you wrote the contract, hey, I decided I don't want this. What do I do? So the agent just sends over an email and says, hey, we're canceling this deal. Well, as things worked out, it cost that agent a few dollars there as we got it all worked out, because the seller, who happened to be an attorney, nailed him for 3 large. He was asking for the 5 large, $5,000, and he finally settled on 3. And Dale actually handled that, did an excellent job on that, getting it down from 5 to 3. So our agent actually wrote the deal on that, the check. And here's our guy right here. Here's Dale. Good morning, Dale.
Good morning, Bob. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Dale. How are you? Happy New Year.
I'm good. Happy New Year to you, too.
You got a word for us this morning?
Well, I got an announcement about some education classes that might be of interest.
Okay.
I'm doing one tomorrow at Weimar, which is the west side at 90th Avenue and Union Hills.
West side's the best side.
West side's the best side, and some people have that opinion.
That's where I live, so of course that's my opinion.
There you go. So the class is on disclosure, so we don't even need RSVPs. The room is big, so just if you'd like to show up and you're listening today, I'd come as my guest. That'd be great. And then there is a special program, the GRI 202. I will be instructing it all day Wednesday and Thursday at PAR, at Phoenix Association. And the phone number there is pretty easy. It's area 602. It's 246-810-12. Do not dial the 8. I've always remembered that phone number that way. It's 246-1012. And ask for Debbie Ledford and sign up and take that GRI 202 class. I'll be instructing it for 2 days going. Then we have the disclosure class on the 16th in the East Valley at Severar, and then we have it at the Arizona State Credit Union on the 23rd. So if you'd like to attend those classes, why call and check with me, and we'll be happy to have you come and be present for any of those. So I just wanted to come and get that word in, and thank you very much for the time.
Oh, you bet. You bet.
There's one more announcement. Would you read that one, Mike?
Yeah, we have, excuse me, on January 14th, Realtor Day at the Capitol, or it's at the Capitol Luncheon. So what is it? What is Realtor Day, and what is it?
It tells you right there on that sheet. I will be there. I'm going to spend the day there on the January 14th, and we're going to watch our legislators at work. The 90 dwarves down there in the hole are going to be working down there, and we'll be watching that, and you get to visit the people that are your legislators and see what's going on down there.
So this is great. So it's obviously it's a way to support our industry, and and we're kind of tongue-in-cheek, but I mean, let's just face it, our legislators, they make a lot of decisions on our behalf without really talking to us as realtors. And so,
They do.
so it is important that we do have a relationship with our legislators, know who we are, what we are, and that we come in force and so forth. So again, if you'd like some information on anything that we talk about, go ahead and email us at webinar@westusa.com, and we'll get you all the information about any of these events that we talk about.
And then one final thing, the Code of Ethics has got a small change in it on Article 10. They're talking about you cannot discriminate against a person or persons on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, national origin, sexual orientation, and now the new one, or gender identity.
That's a big one.
I don't get quite what that's all about, but they put it in there. I wouldn't discriminate against anybody anyway.
This is a big one that's coming down the line, and something that we should probably spend some time in 2014 talking about, because California's passed some pretty radical laws, and it'll be coming our way. Well, I want to thank everybody. Especially want to thank Clay for stopping in this morning. Again, if you have any questions or would like some more information about anything that we talked about this morning, go ahead and email us at webinar@westusa.com. I'd like to leave you with the quote of the day. A creative man is motivated by the desire to achieve, not by the desire to beat others. And for those of us that have been in real estate for numerous years, that quote will make a lot of sense. Thank you for joining us, and we will be back here next Monday.